If you want to become a GenAI developer or a AI developer, this is the only video or only roadmap you need in 2026. In this particular video, I will explain you how you can go from zero to becoming an expert in GenAI development or AI development. I'm not here to just randomly tell few things because I am like working with AI from last 3 years. I built around 30 plus AI projects who are in production right now and working like they are handling users, right? I also consult a lot of companies and enterprises how they can implement AI. So I know the stuffs that what I'm talking about, and this is going to be the only video you need if you want to become an AI developer or a GenAI developer. So if you watch the video till the end, you will have a complete blueprint how you can become a GenAI or a AI developer. So here is the complete roadmap in multiple steps. The first step is the foundation step. What we'll do in the foundation steps, you have to learn the basics of GenAI. What are the basics? First of all, you have to understand how LLM works. Like if I go to the ChatGPT and I will say hi, how it will respond? What are the things working behind the scene? I'm not asking you to learn all the like machine learning and the complex mathematics, but I want you to like go through the how it working, how it predicting things. There are a lot of the basic things about LLMs which you have to learn, like how it works, and we will also talk about in depth about what you actually want to learn in the next steps. But you have to understand that without learning about LLMs, how they work, it is not possible to become an AI developer. Because the LLMs are foundation. Large language models are the foundations of any Gen AI or AI development. So first we have to learn a lot about things like LLMs, how they work, what are the types of LLM, and who are the buildings. Like if you don't know when to use Google APIs, when to use ChatGPT APIs, when to use Claude APIs, it's very hard, and I will give you my own examples. Then we have to understand about RAG system, how they works. I have like an entire section for that. Like core tools, how OpenAI APIs work, Hugging Face, who is providing you a lot of open source model which you can host on your server and use them in your projects. Then of course Python and TypeScript, which you have to know. One thing I want to make here clear, that if you don't know the basics of full stack development and like how apps are created, websites are created, this roadmap is not very useful for you, because I am assuming that you already know how to build full stack application, like how to create a to-do application, how to create a full stack application. So if you don't know that, please build your skills there. You always need that skills if you want to become even Gen AI developer or AI developer. So these are the foundation you have to learn about how they work, especially in the next few topics. We will go very deep on what you actually want to learn, and I will give you the specific topic you have to search and learn. So let's go to the next part of our roadmap. It's chatbot and prompting. Now you have to understand that what are the types of the prompt. Like whenever you go to any LLM like ChatGPT or Google and you ask anything, there are system prompt, there is a user prompt, right? You have to understand what are the difference between both of them, because when you build your own application, for example, when I build Nomi, never forget anything, a second brain who always remember your things, I have to define my system prompt that okay, this is the things which I am giving you as a developer, and then user give the prompts. Why we need system prompt, how to define a proper system prompt. There are a lot of YouTube videos, you can go and search how to define system prompt, how it works, and a lot more. But you have to learn about system prompts, how prompt engineering work, like what is the difference between a bad prompt and in a good prompt, right? If I go to like ChatGPT or Google and ask it, okay, give me a hello world code, you will see that it will not give you the code in your own language. Now see, I have just asked give me the hello world code, and it given me the 4 languages which I don't want. Maybe I just want in JavaScript, maybe I just want in Python. You have to specify. This is the like a really case of a bad prompting. I just given a very small example, but there are a lot of bad prompts which may be cause a serious performance issue, and you might feeling that AI is not good, but it's actually good. But you have to understand how like token control works, because you don't want that one day you woke up and you have like thousands of dollars of bill, right? You have to understand how tokens are using. For example, when I asked Gemini to give me the code of hello world, it given me the code in the 4 languages, right? But I just want in one language, but I have not clarified that I need in one language, and for that it's giving me in the 4 languages. Because it given me in the 4 languages, it use a lot of words, and that's why there are a lot of token spent here. And if you are using through the API, you will get a lot of bill compared to like when it is giving you the hello world code in just one language. So you have to understand how token control works, how chain of thoughts are prompting works, zero and few sort of prompting. There are types of prompting. If you will go and search about prompting, you will figure it out that what are the things we would need to learn about the prompting. I hope you understand that you have to understand how this chatbot works and how prompting works, especially because prompting play a lot of important role when you are building application, and the token control also, like how you make sure that you, without compromising the quality, you will get the same amount of good results, right? Token control is one of the most important concept because you don't want to spend a lot of tokens because it will give you a high cost, but you don't want to compromise the quality. So you have to find a midway. How you will find the midway if you don't even understand what is the token control or what is the token, how it works, and how you can control that? It's very important. The next step is to understand LangChain and RAG system. I will explain you about LangChain, but RAG is one of the most important concept if you want to learn GenAI, especially because the entire foundation is RAG. In the normal application, we store data in form of English in any database, but in the like AI applications, we use embeddings and vector DBs, vector databases. And you have to understand how to create embeddings, use the databases. There are special type of databases we have to use when you are building a AI application that called vector DBs. You have to understand the embeddings, how embeddings work, what is mean of embeddings, right? So it's very important to understand vector DBs, embeddings, RAGs, how RAG system work. For example, when I am building a NOMI, like never forget anything app which is second brain for you. There are two tabs. One is capture and the second one is chat. What we will do in the capture, anything you write here, we convert them in embeddings and they will save in the database. Why? Like for example, I have like added all my favorite books here. Like I written my favorite books and then I have given all the favorite books I have. Then I convert them in embedding and store in my database. Now I have all the embeddings. Now I can do the semantic search. Now whenever I have a question and I type it here, it will give me all the books which I have to read in the future. How it coming from? As you can see, it's just coming from the books I want to read. There is a section, my future book reading, Darker Advantage. Even I am not specifying anything, how it is able to search all the books which are related. That's the magic of RAG, how RAG works. It's very important to learn about semantic search, RAG, embeddings. You will understand the magic happening here. You can build a project after that, especially after learning the RAG, embeddings, and vector DB is called like PDF Q&A, where someone is uploading a PDF and they can chat with their PDF, resume bot, YouTube Q&A, and a lot more projects you can build. Also, there is a tool called LangChain. LangChain is nothing but it helps you to build your application. Like when you are uploading the PDF, you have to chunk the PDF because if PDF is like 50 pages, you can't create embedding of 50 pages in one go. So for that, LangChain have a tool. You will understand when you are creating the project. That's why it's very important. The next part is tool and integration. I will not take much time here, but I want to explain that LLM have very limited data sets. They have knowledge cutoff. They only have the data where they are trained. Maybe ChatGPT is last trained in 2025 September. But what I want to know what is happening right now. If I search if I go to the ChatGPT and we will ask what are if I ask what are the top news of today in AI, how will it figure it out? If you have seen, there is something called searching. They are using an external tool. Here it is given me all the today's AI news. But how it happens? Because it uses an external tool called search. You can also create a lot of external tools where if LLM not have the capability, we use external tool to integrate the capability there. There are a lot of external tool will be used especially if you create a lot of AI agents. I will explain what is AI agent in a minute. So there are tools called search, weather, how ChatGPT and LLMs know if their knowledge cut off in the last few months, what is the weather of today. How you can figure it out? By giving external tool which can go and search today's weather and give to LLM. Then what LLM will do? Take that results and personalize for you, right? So that's how the weather tool and all other stuff you can add external capabilities to the LLMs, and that's how you can search today. That's how you can shop today on ChatGPT and all other LLM platforms. It's very important. Project you can build is Traveler Planner. Why it's very relevant? Because you have to add a lot of external tooling here. Like if you are if you want to book a seat, if you want to book a travel, that LLM can't do it because LLM don't have any access to any booking site. You have to give an external tool who can do that. LLM can be your foundation. After that, you have to give a lot of more power, and more power can be given by external tools. I hope you understand what I mean by tools and integration. Next topic is multi-agent system. Let's understand through it an example. Suppose you have created a system where you are helping out a student to make it easy to like go through their textbook. They can come here, upload their textbook, and they can later chat about it. But you noticed that when it comes to like general textbook, and whenever someone is want to read maybe physics or maybe other topics, it's very good to use OpenAI APIs. OpenAI is performing very good at that time, working great. But after some testing, you have noticed whenever it comes to asking coding question and uploading coding textbook and then asking question, the model which is performing very good is Claude. But when someone want to create a diagram from that notebook and to understand better anything, Gemini is working great. What you will do in that case? In that case, you have to do a multimodal routing. Whenever something asking related to this, like you use an intermediate model, a small model, who will decide the routing. Like whenever a user asks any question, it will take the question, go to the small model, and a small model will decide that it should go to the OpenAI, or it should go to the Claude, or it should go to the Gemini. Based on the factor we have told to the small model that okay, if something is asking about general notebooks or physics or anything, go to the OpenAI. But if someone is asking about coding or related stuff and someone uploaded the notebook related to coding, please use the Claude. And if someone is want to generate something, or if they are using their textbook and want to like build something related to 3D, or want to imagine something in real videos, or want to imagine like gravity in a video form, redirect to Gemini, because Gemini is very good at visuals. So you have to understand this. This is very important concept, how you can like multimodal routing perform. LangGraph is a way where you can monitor your performance, like when your application is working great, when your application is like not working that much good. You can observe when your API keys are failing, when the answers are like cutting off, how much token you are spending on per query. These are the concept you have to like observe there. And the multi-agent system is especially very handy when you are building something production ready. Like if you are a student, you can come like build something till this, right? But these are the very important when you go to like any internship or any working in real company where you are like shipping a real product. It's very important to understand it. Then it comes to the deployment. If you are using Python, or if you are using JavaScript, whatever you are using, according to that you have to deploy the front end, back end, and you have to understand that how you can review the code. You have to understand a lot more things in the deployment, which is according to the company you are using or your personal choices. Like if you follow even till now, you will become like very good AI engineer or GenAI developer. But if you want to learn more, there are like very trendy things going on, like MCP, what is MCP client, MCP server, how model context protocol work, how like they connect each, which is the other advanced topics, which is like rate limiting, caching, logging, and dashboards. Like these are the things which you will keep learning as you go in the production, where you are really shipping the things which people are using. Because at that time, its building is not just important, you have to scale there, you have to monitor the performance. But as a beginner, you can even ignore these parts, but I highly recommend to check out some part, because the competition is very high right now. So if you know these things, it's very good, right? Because the competition is very high and you will easily stand out. So this is the complete roadmap. I can like zoom out and can show you. So this is the overall roadmap. If you follow this roadmap, I think you can become a very good GenAI developer, and you can really push the production level product. I have a lot more videos related to AI. Make sure you subscribe and watch other videos, because AI is the like future, and if you are learning AI, it's like one of the best investment you can do. I hope all of this makes sense. I will see you in next video. Till then, keep learning and keep exploring. Bye bye.